on Liam Cohen during rookie minicamp.
That large man. Some of that you can't coach.
Jacksonville tied it at 4 before a long lightning delay, but once play resumed, Stetson answered with a 4-run 6 and took the rubber game over the Dolphins. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 79 degrees at 10 o'clock, time and 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
When it comes to our edge, right? We're constantly trying to find our edge, right? And as we go into year 2, year 1 extremely important, right, guys, for setting the tone and establishing the way that we want to operate, the way that we want to play, and going through that. I think we did that.
He slipped and he fell down. Trevor fell down on the play. Now he's going to try and run it in. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. Trevor ran it in. He ran it in. Touchdown.
There's no guaranteed success, but I do feel like this is sustainable. The things that we're doing, I know offensively and defensively, I mean, just both sides of the ball had a hell of a year when it got down to the end where we finished and the growth that we had.
There is no year more important than year 2. There's no year. Because, man, let's be honest, there's been a lot of one-hit wonders. That's the reality.
Running room for Parker Washington, 45, 40, 30, on the right sideline. Parker Washington, he's going to bring it back. Parker Washington, touchdown Jacksonville. There are no flags.
They just go hop on the bandwagon right now. Everybody in this locker room on the Jaguars team, even upstairs, we know everybody probably going to try to hop on this bandwagon now, but we don't want anybody. They can stay where they at. It's us. It's all about the Jags.
Knocked down. Devon Hamilton knocked it down. It's no good. The Jaguars win it. The Jaguars win it. That ball is going to be knocked away. The Jags win it in overtime with another terrific defensive play. All these cardiac cats.
Everybody but us. Excuse my language, mama and dad, grandmama, but everybody but us.
What are we doing to separate ourselves so that we take the next step as a team?
Now, after that sack, Josh has set the franchise career record for sacks. Congratulations to Josh Hines Allen.
I can't really sit up here and say that, what our season's going to look like next year, but I can say that we got a team full of guys that's committed to each other. Obviously, the team's going to be a little different. You heard what Coach just said. It's a business at the end of the day. Some people are going to be here, some people are not. But the guys that step on this field, leading to OTAs, to training camp, to the first game of the season, to the last, those are guys we're going to ride with, and those opportunities we're going to try to develop and win.
We're trading up in the draft. We're moving from pick 5 to pick 2, and we're doing it because you're the one we've been hunting up. Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
That ball's caught by Travis Hunter. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
To be able to put it all together this spring, I think it'll be fun.
Fires middle of the field. That was caught. 35, 30, 25, 20. Brian Thomas Jr. He hung on to that one. Fires middle of the field. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown. Jacoby Myers. Oh, the left sideline. 50, 45, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown. Touchdown.
We're going to bring you a product that you all can be proud of. And we are so appreciative of your support. With that, game on.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Tony Smith, how are you?
Doing well.
Do not get infected unless you want to. I think I have rookie fever.
Oh, do you?
I think I might have a little rookie fever going on for the Jacksonville Jaguars rookie minicamp. On Saturday.
Yeah, I heard it was going around this weekend.
It does. It happens, man. We we put our eyeballs on guys, and some interesting reaction to some of the video the 1010XL crew put out there. It's like it always swings from one extreme to the other, right? There's like no calm middle ground. There's no wait and see on anything. It's either this guy is the greatest or this guy is the absolute worst, and we need to know that in the month of May.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right off the top of the bat. How was your weekend, though, otherwise?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was good.
How are the Braves this weekend?
They got 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. Could have swept them. It was close on Friday to them getting that one, but 2 out of 3 against them. I did spend the weekend. I watched someone reacting to the first episode of season 1 of True Detective, and I was like, I'm back in.
Oh, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now.
Like
right,
I
I'm with you.
rewatched all of season 1 this
on that
weekend.
one.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've watched it, but I never get tired of it.
No, that's a really good one. I'm still making my way through the Americans. I'm like in season 4, but we've had there's a lot of new ones out there that my wife and I, want to dabble in. So anyway, Yankees got swept, and yeah, it stinks, but I don't even care that much because my other team is, what they're doing right now. So
the Knicks are being the Knicks.
Let's leave that aside. That's not what we've come here to discuss today. We've come here to discuss one RJ Saunders. That's who we've come to discuss this morning. RJ, the debuting at rookie minicamp this weekend. How was your experience on Saturday?
I thought it was cool. I mean, I viewed it more, to be honest with you, Dims, as you and I bonding experience.
It was a good.
That's what I thought.
It's a nice little field trip for us, right?
That's what I thought about it.
I enjoyed introducing you to some of the members of the media and such that you were not familiar with.
And then Tony, I mean, I didn't, understand this. A lot of politicking was going on. A lot of talking. What can you tell me about this? What can
Huddling
you tell me
up.
about
We're trying to get info on stuff. The shame of it is, and I said this to John Shipley out there. I said, yeah, almost a benefit to not being here, right? Because anything you see, you got to be very careful about what you say. I mean, they're very, and I understand why, right? They don't want to give away any tactical advantages or create any disadvantages when they're talking about X player, Y player in X formation, Y formation, whatever the case. They don't want you being that specific about it. And so when you're out there, you're like, things seep into your brain, and you're like, is this something I'm allowed to talk about? Is this something I know otherwise? So anyway, I thought the highlight for me, Tony, on Saturday, introduced RJ to a member of the Jaguars organization. Who shall remain nameless. It wasn't Shad Khan. It was below the Shad Khan level.
James Gladstone.
It was below the James Gladstone level. Anyway, but
he's in the building.
Very nice guy is in the building all the time, but I don't want to put his name on it. It's just a funny anecdote. And I said, hey, this is RJ Saunders. He is our new-ish producer on Jaguars Today. Want to familiarize yourself, because we are a program that covers your team exclusively, despite the Knicks talk that creeps in from time to time. And said member of the organization reacts, oh, you're the guy with the NBA show, right? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh, okay? Cool. I wasn't sure RJ was coming in because I thought from his reaction the rest of the day, he might have hit the Powerball, Tony. I wasn't sure if he was going to just retire quietly or put in his 2 weeks' notice.
And then you know what I saw after that, Tony?
What's that?
Mike Dempsey's whispering in the guy's ear, handing him a 20. Hey, man.
No, wasn't like that at all, man. I thought that was, in all seriousness, that was pretty awesome.
That is cool.
That was not on my bingo card yet.
That was pretty cool little moment there for one RJ Saunders. So we had a good time out there taking in the rookies on Saturday. I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't watch. They're like half the time they're 2 fields away, and I'm just like, whatever. It's rookie minicamp, man. I'm not trying to come up with some scheme fits.
Some insight that you can plug in August.
Yeah, right. Like it's so much just going to change. I want to say, that usually what you don't, the number one thing of rookie minicamp is don't have a guy show up and go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think there was any uh-oh out there. So as long as there's no uh-oh, and uh-oh just simply means, wait a minute, did we watch film on this guy?
Yeah.
Right? Like you get, and every coach and front office goes through it at some point or another. They draft a guy and they bring him in. They go, well, this doesn't at all look like what we were seeing on film, right?
Right, yeah.
And so, as long as you don't have those moments, nobody's going to win their first nod to the Pro Bowl or become an all-pro at rookie minicamp. But today, we will ask you, among other things, to give us a little feedback on the Jaguars rookie draft class. Nate Borkacher obviously is the lightning rod, right? Because of, the surprise of the pick, and he was the first selection for the Jags, and we've talked a lot about how he's going to be utilized. And Emmanuel Pregnon is also a guy that has drawn a lot of rave reviews because we were conditioned to think he was a very, high-valued
It's the
player.
other side of the coin to why people were frustrated by the Borkacher.
Correct.
Like you flip that coin over, it's like, oh, this is the value.
Here's the value, but
Yeah.
you're basing it off the same kind of list, right? Now, I'll say this from what my understanding, and I talk to as many people as I can all the time. with the Jags, but, particularly in these settings, and they were super high on Pregnon. It wasn't like they thought Pregnon was a third-round value. They thought he was like a more towards the top of the second-round guy. What does that tell you, Tony? How much must they love Albert Regis?
Right.
Right? Seriously. You're sitting there at 81, and you're like, Pregnon's here? Yeah, but we can't pass Regis. They were not going to allow that to happen. Like, the guy that, in their mind, they couldn't afford to miss out on between pick 81 and 88 if he were to come off the board was Regis. Obviously, the pick told you that.
Yep.
There wasn't anything learned. So, anyway, the question of the day, other than Borkature and Pregnon, who is the under-the-radar 2026 Jacksonville Jaguars draft pick that we should be talking about more? And there are plenty to choose from. So we posted that out there on the socials, and you can reply if you would like on that and join the conversation today. Talking Jaguar football was not open to the fans, and I get it. There's some fans that will go out to anything, but I think the Jags weighed the cost of having it open and everything, and how many people are going to show up. This is not a Travis Hunter type situation where you've got the reigning Heisman winner. So whatever the case may be, we'll try to be your eyes and ears out there as much as possible with what we're allowed to report. Today, we'll hear from Liam Cohen, who spoke extensively after practice on Saturday, and away we go. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders. Hit us up at 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can stream us on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, on the apps, whatever you like, or find us on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R has no J. All right, here we go. Jaguars today. Plenty from Liam Cohen coming up. His thoughts on, again, just one weekend of the rookies performing in front of their new head coach. And we'll get into all that and more coming your way over the next 2 hours. You're listening to Jaguars Today right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big number one Duval Ford. Look, if your business runs on trucks, downtime, simply not an option. It's why businesses trust the Duval Ford Pro Elite Commercial Service Center. They have a state-of-the-art facility that's built for commercial vehicles with oversized service bays that can handle everything from vans to heavy-duty bucket trucks, plus extended hours that'll keep your fleet moving. With mobile service that comes to your job site, Duval Ford helps maximize uptime and productivity. Big number one Duval Ford, 1616 Cassett Avenue.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the first door prize and all expense paid trip to
1010XL.
Homeowners, ready to let the sunshine in without letting your energy bills go up? At Renewal by Anderson, you've got 2 ways to save on new windows and doors this month. Take 20% off your entire window and door replacement project, or choose no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. But this offer expires May 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Jaguars Today.
Pages in your mailbox right now. Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go. Money Pages in your mailbox right now.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe he's got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Got a runner, a digger, a backyard escape artist. Lock it down with Superior Fence and Rail and keep those paws safe. Right now, get a free gate when you install 100 feet or more. That's right, a brand new fence and a free gate to match. More freedom for them, more peace of mind for you. Don't wait, this Safe Paws promo won't last. Call today or visit SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it. And send them a Coen floral arrangement. ET here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at CoenFlowers.com.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Every joint in the body was designed for movement. Inactivity can cause stiffness, weakness, weight gain, and decrease in overall balance. So you should strive for at least 30 minutes a day of exercises that promote flexibility like yoga, strengthening with weights, and cardiovascular fitness like walking, swimming, or biking. The more you move, the better you will feel, and your overall health will benefit. Let's get healthy, Jax. Go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Yeah, RJ is a basketball guy at heart, I think, which just doesn't mean he's not, into the Jags and the NFL and all that kind of stuff. But, definitely that's his top priority, Tone, and it's fun on Saturday. And, we're talking, and I'm saying, hey, there's this guy, there's that guy. And he looks, he goes, there's James Gladstone. Yeah, where do you think he would be? Yes, he's out here.
Yeah,
right,
guys are on the field.
He's 10 feet behind. He's trying to sneak up on you right now as you speak. And yes, he was out there. So anyway, it's not. We all remember. I don't know. Do you remember what was the first practice you ever attended? Can you actually remember the first practice you ever attended?
No,
I can't either. It was way back in the Coughlin days. I mean, back when the practice fields were kind of where Daly's place is now, on that side of the stadium. There were 3 grass fields over there. We used to do like Florida Georgia broadcasts on that field. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah.
At another network, as they say. So
I remember the broadcast being out there, yeah.
Yeah, man. I remember rolling in there at like 6 in the morning with the van and getting set up for that thing and all that. And, it's radio's fun, man. It is definitely a different kind of gig, but it was cool to be back out there. It just feels a little bit more real when you see these guys in pads. And I was a little surprised, Tom, to hear, because I didn't see the reaction on social media. I didn't really post any. I don't think I took any pictures out there at Minicamp on Saturday. But 1010XL is like, there's like 50 of us out there. I mean, there are a lot of people out there. Apparently some of the media don't like that. I think it's funny. What do you want us to do? We're trying to cover the team, right? That we're the flagship station of. Should we send one person? Right. So like tons of guys are out there. We got producers, we got hosts, we've got videographers, we got interns, we got everything. And so they post a clip, apparently 1010 does, about Nate Borkacher coming over the middle, and people were apparently asking, like, is this in half speed and stuff like that? Well, it's rookie minicamp.
Probably close.
This might not be half speed, but it's probably not full speed.
Right.
Right? Like, it's important what you're watching and know what you're watching. All they're trying to do is make sure, are these guys lining up in the right place? I mean, it's as simple as that. Do they break the huddle the way we want them to break the huddle? That is the process of part of the process of rookie minicamp, right? So the idea that we're like, well, Borkacher didn't flash 4.2 speed on that one.
Like, I know I saw a clip, and I think it was the same drill.
Okay.
Maybe that 10-10 XL, but they had both the rookie tight ends back to back, like running the drill. And I was like, all right, well, there's Borkacher and there's Cozio, right? And I was like, oh, Borkacher looked better. Right?
Okay.
Like, just in the drill, I was like, he looked better. Like, when I heard people reacting to it that way, I was like, okay. Like,
I mean, look, I get it. You were shocked that they got him. And by the way, your fans, you can feel however you like.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I get a lot of that is painted by however they feel about the pick, and that's fine. No one's changing anybody's mind at a rookie minicamp.
Right, I'm not trying to sell you one way or the other, but both sides of it. And Trent Osborne, who does a lot of our social media work around here, does a great job with that. Pointing out that, well, the other half of it was like baby Gronk. Everything that Borkacher did.
Yeah, Fred has put that on him.
Well, he did. He kind of Fred, like, come on now.
I don't want to say, but, well, now it's been said.
I'm not going to throw Gronkowski as a comparison out there. He, as Fred pointed out a couple weeks ago on the drill, that's Fred's opinion. I mean, Fred is entitled to that opinion. I did have an opportunity to talk to Tony Baselli for a minute, and, and he did say, hey, look, they know what's being said, right, about their picks and in general, and fine. We don't hide it. We're on the airwaves, right?
We know every time anyone's ever said we don't pay attention, it's like, come on.
Of course, right? And they're not pretending that, by the way, and so, I'm not going to say something here on 10-10 XL and go out there on the sideline and go, well, I didn't mean that. It's not a big deal. It's an opinion on football. And Tony Baselli has probably, in general, smarter football opinions because Tony Baselli's a really good football player, and he's been in the locker room. He's been through all kinds of processes and behind-the-scenes areas where I've never had access to, right? And totally understand that. But at the same time, I said, Tony, there's probably a time back in the day when you were in my shoes to some degree that you weren't privy to the internal conversations happening in the Gene Smith-led front office, right? And you were maybe critical. And he just kind of like chuckled, like, yeah. Exactly. Like, hey, they get it. I really think they get it. Like, now, they get it. They also pay attention to it, right? Like, I do think they're going to be like, it's not a big deal, what's being said. But internally, they're a petty little bunch. And I say that in the most positive way. I think Liam Cohen is petty as hell, right? Like, he wants everyone to think everyone has been slighted at any given moment, and we're coming for our revenge. And what he said is about the worst possible thing without bringing your mother into it. Yeah. Like, that kind of attitude towards it. And
when there are national guys that pick Houston to win the South this year, you better believe he's going to use it.
It's going to be bulletin board material. Maybe not literal pin it on a bulletin board, but it will be discussed. Hey, here again, guys, 37 experts, and 36 of them picked the Texans to win. The other ones had the Colts. There might be 17 that picked the Jags. They'll be in the file over here. We won't be looking at those. But no, I get it, and it's fine. I think the Jags have been really good with the local media. Certainly, and this has been the case all throughout, right? In terms of, you got a job to do, as long as you're not making it personal, like, you're not like,
say what you got to say.
Say what you got to say, and you can critique the job, and acknowledge at times, and we do. There are limits to our knowledge on certain guys. I don't know what they saw on the medicals that may have had them turn away from Jermod McCoy, whereas the Raiders look at the same medicals that are available and take him one pick later at pick 101. And so, but for their fit and all that, we don't have all that. But as long as you acknowledge that, I think it's fair to question stuff. And I think they're big enough. They're adults. They're not going to get all up in a huff about stuff. They're going to use it if they think they can strategically or tactically use it to kind of emotionally fire up their football team.
Sure. Look, if, we talked about the grades that we gave Borkacher, right, specifically last week when, they all went out on the social media pages here, and Lauren and I were the only ones who gave the Borkacher pick a D.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not like the Jags are calling the station and saying, you got to get Tony and Lauren off the air.
No,
right?
No, it's nothing like that.
Right? Like, that's ludicrous. Like, they probably look at it and say, see what they're saying? show them.
Right.
Right? Like, that's the way that they'll use that kind of thing, and they should. I'm fine with that. I would love to be wrong about the D. I'm cool with being completely wrong about the D on Nate Borkature, but it's how I felt about it in the moment. And even with a couple weeks to think about it, I still feel that way about it for a bunch of different reasons. And that's fine. He can prove me wrong on the field, and I hope he does.
Look, Tony did Baselli say one thing that was, I thought, very funny. And he said, because he said, it's funny to follow along with your tweets. Like, by the way, during the draft, first couple of nights, I'm on the air, right? I'm on the air for SiriusXM. And so my attention is kind of split. I'm seeing who the Jags pick, but I can't really listen to any analysis. So I remember with Borkature, I tweeted out right away, well, that's probably, he was outside the top 100 in the consensus board. I went with the dirty word, right? I didn't realize how dirty the word was going to be. For instance, and things like that. And so be it. And so he goes, yeah, it was funny, kind of reading your tweets throughout the thing. And not just, obviously, they're paying attention.
We're
what
all
is being
reacting,
said. And he said he thought the funniest, because they're reading them out loud amongst themselves. They're like, hey, listen to this. Because it's not like they're like getting all tight about it. Like, oh no, what have we done? No, they have confidence in what they're doing. And they have a vision. Now, none of us know if the vision will be perfectly executed and the Jags will ultimately win a Super Bowl, because that's
they're getting
the goal.
paid to put their vision in place.
Sure, and they're not shrinking away because they're getting pushback. They knew they'd get pushback on this draft class, right? But Tony goes, there's the one that caught his eye. And I don't know who did it. I think I saw it as well out there. Something like to the effect of Baselli must have lent some of his CTE to Gladstone. So he goes, that was their favorite one of the whole thing. So it can do that and look at that and have that kind of attitude
and laugh. Yeah.
And laugh. It tells me that they're not some, like, I don't know, this fragile group. And not that we thought they were, but it just kind of re-emphasizes that, look, we do have a vision. And you don't have to like the vision. And we know we can't win any games until September. But come last September, we started winning some games fairly quickly.
Right.
And especially against that early part of the schedule that everyone thought was going to be so tough. So anyway, just it's kind of just refreshing to me, right? Where they're like, hey, you know what? Bring the criticism. We have our belief. And by the way, there's praise mixed in with that criticism as well. And, we're all in the same spot. We all want them to win a Super Bowl championship. Any take I've ever had, may it get buried in the Hall of Shame if it turns out that I'm wrong, and whatever that, opposite of the opinion was is a factor in leading them to where they want to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hope, it would be wonderful if Nate Borkature turns out to be Travis Kelce.
Great.
Right.
And you know what? Oh, by the way, he doesn't have to be Travis Kelce to be a hell of a draft pick at 56.
And I don't think that's why they necessarily drafted him, is because they think it's Kelce. Right, that they're bringing in the building. I think they have their reasons for having brought him in the building, but if things play out where he becomes that level of productive as a player at that position, awesome, right? Like, we're all pulling for these guys to succeed in a Jaguars uniform, and once they put on another uniform, we'll cheer the way that we do, for guys that are wearing other uniforms. But we want the team to be successful, ultimately.
I think, too, it comes to, like, you can't stress enough the word versatility and what they want from their players.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, you look, guys who could play multiple positions, that's an obvious kind of thing. Guys like Borkature who can play multiple aspects of the position to where it's not a tell, like, hey, we're bringing in Quentin Morris, they're probably going to run the ball, kind of situation. No. Now you've got a guy that you think can be a weapon. So, and all since the draft, and really going back to last year, you've seen it play out with the Jags. We got this guy. He played this and this. We can think he can use this. We love the fact that we can move him to different places. The offensive line was stacked with guys like that last year. So anyway, we'll hear from Liam Cohen coming up next on Nate Borkature. He weighed in on a number of things, number of this rookie class by name, and just some general thoughts. Again, it's weekend one, so they're just getting the first flags planted on the 2026 Jacksonville Jaguars season. Let's hear from the head coach coming up on the other side. Tony Smith, RJ Saunders. I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
It's a Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
It's showtime! That's right! The whole world loves Beetlejuice! It's a rowdy, rambunctious, rollicking good time! And a big, fantastical funhouse! We're raising the bar and occasionally the dead! You've never seen anything quite like Beetlejuice! May 12th through the 17th, Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets on sale at fscjartistseries.org.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Ready to join the team? The Jaguars and our stadium partners are hosting a job fair Wednesday, May 20th. We're looking for enthusiastic new faces to serve as ushers, ticket takers, concessionaires, security, and more. Stop by the Prime Osborne Convention Center and apply on May 20th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Professional dress, a pen, and a smile are all you need. There are 1,000 spots to be filled for the 2026 season, so join us and be a part of the Jaguars game day team.
Hey, it's Greg. Working here at 1010XL, you're constantly surrounded by food. So I told you last week I finally stopped hearing about Awaken 180 and actually started it myself. So one weekend, I'm down 9 pounds. 40 by the 4th, yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. Look, I thought the hard part was going to be the food. I pictured myself, opening a box and going, all right, here comes the sadness. But no, the food's been really good and easy too, which matters because I'm on the road a lot during the day and I don't have time to play nutrition scientist in the convenience store parking lot. Awaken 180 lays it all out. A schedule, a meal plan, the yes-no shopping list, even recipes in the app. And there's much more variety than I expected. A doctor friend said to me something that stuck. You'll never outrun the fork and spoon. And he's right. I've tried. It doesn't work. Well, Awaken 180 gets the food part right. And when that happens, the scale moves pretty fast. I'm down 9 pounds in week 1. So let's keep going. Call now and do it with me. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly, owner of DexaFit Jacksonville. Do you really know your numbers? Body fat, muscle, and bone density? At DexaFit Jacksonville, we use the DEXA-Scan, the gold standard for precise body composition data. We also measure VO2 max and resting metabolic rate, giving you a complete picture of how your body performs and burns fuel. No guessing, just clinical, science-backed data you can track over time just like an athlete. Book today at jacksonville.dexafit.com.
Hey, Gate fans, power up your meal with an electrifying deal. MyGate Rewards members can snag a Monster Energy for just $1 when you buy any made-to-order entree. Breakfast bowl or pizza, it's your choice. Just add a Monster and boost your day. See store for details.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, quick movie review for you, Tone. So I go to a couple of different sites. They're like pop culture sites, and I don't try to read the reviews ahead of time, but I'll read the headlines of the reviews, and get a sense of whether they're liking the movie, right? And so, have you heard of this one, Apex, with Charlize Theron?
No.
And Taron Egerton, right?
Okay.
Is the guy. And it's a little bit like Cliffhanger, right? She's a mountain climber, extreme sports, whatever, and someone's out to get her. Kind of thing, gonna be chased through the wilderness, whatever. And so the write-up was like, had a decent premise, didn't really fulfill. And I was like, based on that, I'm like, there's too many things to watch.
Did we really want a remake of Cliffhanger?
Right. I'm like, I'm probably not going to watch it. And it wasn't like a remake of Cliffhanger.
No, I get it.
But so then my brother-in-law yesterday was like, we went to lunch with my mother-in-law for Mother's Day and all that. Happy belated to all the moms out there. And he's like, yeah, it was really good. Now I'm like, I don't know if your taste and my taste are exactly the same. So it was kind of somewhere in the middle. It was It's worth the hour 45 or whatever.
Okay.
Out there on Netflix. Taron Egerton plays a pretty good seething kind of bad guy. He reminded me of James McAvoy in what was the sequel to the Bruce Willis trilogy of movies.
Oh, Split?
Split. There's the one. It reminded me kind of a little bit of his character. Not quite as over the top.
Yeah.
So if you want to kill an hour 45, it's not the worst way to do it. All right. They say that about Jaguars today as well. So we hope. All right. So let's get to Liam Cohen here. Spoke after practice on Saturday, and the focus right off the bat was on their first selection in this year's draft, pick 56, Nate Borkacher. Cohen on what the rookie tight end, and not just Borkacher, what does the rookie tight ends, I think, bring to this football team?
I think not only what they can maybe provide within their skill sets, but also what it then allows the other guys to do, right? Like what that allows Strange to do differently or more frequently, whether that's running, or, blocking, or catching. The diversity of skill sets is important. I think they're different enough, but also wired similarly. And, that's what I think is fun about it, is it allows not only those guys to go help us in their own skill sets, but also maybe help other guys in their skill sets just by adding that depth and competition.
I do love the little post-practice presser, because if Cohen speaks on it, it's fair game to speak on, right? Brenton Strange is a pain in the ass with the ball in his hands, right? If you're a defensive player, I mean, right, like the physical run after the catch ability, like pack-a-lunch type situation. And this is not the first time I've heard this, but it's good to hear the coach put words to it. When you think Brenton Strange, what is the number one strength of Brenton Strange?
He is a monster blocker.
Monster blocker.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Monster blocker. But what he's saying, and you listen to this, what are these tight ends going to allow Brenton Strange to do? Now, I don't think they went with Koziel and said, let's get a guy who's known for his pass-catching chops so Brenton Strange can continue to just be a road grader out there. And that, which is fine. That's valid. But Liam Cohen, is saying, what else does this open up? And to me, this is a clear, we think Brenton Strange can do a lot more in the passing game here, right? That's what I'm hearing. Do you hear that the same way that I hear that?
Generally, yes. And I think when they've given themselves options, when they want to have two tight ends on the field, that now Brenton Strange isn't just a blocker wherever he is, right? Like, he gives them options in the pass game that we don't know. I don't think they're going to have Koziel on the field to necessarily be anything but a receiver, right?
I would agree with that, right? At least initially.
Like, I think that's kind of the way that he projects coming into the league. That's the kind of player that he is. He's a space player that plays tight end.
Red zone pass-catching weapon.
Right, like that kind of thing. But Borkacher, could mirror the kind of things that we love about Strange as a blocker. Like, and if he can give you that, then you do have the flexibility to use Strange to do whatever the heck you want to do. And when you have Strange and Borkacher on the field at the same time, now defenses have to make a decision. What are they going to do on this play?
Right.
Right? Like, it can put the defense on their heels a little bit if you have two guys that can do that kind of thing at the same time. And we know And I can understand pointing out and wanting to see what Strange would look like being more of an option in the pass game because, yeah, he's a very physical player when he's blocking, but he's a very physical player. That's what he is.
Right.
And so you get the ball in his hands, and he's looking to embarrass somebody.
He's a load, man.
Right. Like, that's the way that he plays, is that physical style to play. So, yeah, I would love to see him with the ball in his hands a little bit more. I don't need it to be crazy, but a little bit more, and it does feel like they have more flexibility to do that when they add as many tight ends as that has to be the thought that they have. There's no other reason to rationalize what they did except that kind of thing.
And just in general, when you're in, because I think Borkature embodies some of the same traits. And now I'm not going to say he's as good at anything as Brenton Strange until I see that play out. And I think that's fair. But, okay, so, this frees up Strange. What if he's not the one in the pattern this time? What if he does stick in line and he's the sixth offensive lineman, using the air quotes, and it's going to be Borkature out in the pass, or what if it's both of them?
Yeah.
Right? And what if they line up two tight ends tight to the formation and they split them both out and spread things out? Can they do stuff like that? I'm just, there's total speculation land.
Everything about if they both can offer what we think they can offer as blockers, and we know Strange already does. But if Borkature can add that on the other side, then when they line up with both those guys at the ends of the line of scrimmage, what do you do defensively? Because everything about that tells you run. Right? Like those two guys being on the field together, everything about that tells you run. What flexibility do you have putting those guys on the field, getting the defense thinking that way?
Right. Can you break the normal two tight end tendencies?
Right.
Because of the types of tight end. And that's what, obviously, they loved him specifically.
They want that flexibility.
Among the guys that they had a chance to get. At least realistically. So let's get one more in from Coen.
No doubt, yeah. Coen was also obviously asked quite a bit about the tight end room here as they've added a bunch to it, but he was also asked about, we know they hear it, all the noise on the drafting of Nate Borkature, when they did, where they did, the value they did or didn't get making the pick at that time, and Coen responded to the outside noise on drafting Borkature.
Yeah, unfortunate. It's kind of what I said after, I don't know, it's not coming and we don't really care. So it's about our consensus and what we believe in this building about each player and how they fit in, and character matters, personal and football character matters, and the mental, the learning, how much they can take in a short period of time to go be able to get on the grass and go play. I wouldn't say either of our offensive or defensive systems are quote unquote easy, right? And so we do value players that can do different things and be able to go mentally play the game fast.
Part of the Patriots' dynastic success in this century, obviously a huge part of it is you had a great coach, but you had arguably the greatest quarterback of all time among them, certainly elevating everything that they did. But how often did you hear that they had guys that they fit their system, were just smart, they were versatile, they knew what, they're football players that you don't have to worry about. Now they did have some character. So you can't, but every team probably does. But they sought out certain types of guy, like that you could play in this role this week, you could play in this role next week. In fact, our whole team, one week we're going to throw it 57 times. The next week we're going to run it all but 10. And they've done that kind of stuff over the time with the Patriots. I'm not saying the Jags are going to get to that extreme. I'm not trying to compare them to the Patriots. I'm saying that's kind of the model of the flexibility you want. Okay, we're playing against this team this week that we feel like we can run it down their throat. We're going to run it down their throat.
Yeah.
Next week, we think we can exploit them in the mid to deep passing game. That's what we're going to try to do. That's the team they want to be. I guess everybody does to some degree, but I think the Jags are trying to put their money where their mouth is on this. More on the tight end room from Liam Cohen and other thoughts coming out of rookie minicamp. Coming up, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. The NFL's big secret gets exposed.
Should we cut to the chase?
Join 1010XL all day Thursday for the big reveal. Set up by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on game day. Sometimes it's rolling your ankle, weekend yard work, or just playing catch with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries in hand. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
Jaguars today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Bring your home back to life with Zero Res, a fresher clean that you can actually feel. This month, take 25% off all services, hardwood tile, LVP, carpet, air ducts, and more. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them 1010XL sent you.
When you want to know what's happening in Gainesville, roll with the Gator Report. I'm Joe C. Listen for updates on Florida Gator athletics several times a week on 1010XL. Built by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Go, Gator! Spring is here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is Jacksonville's certified arborist for safe tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for homes and businesses. Protect your property, boost your curb appeal, and enjoy expert service you can trust. Keep your trees healthy and safe before summer arrives. Schedule your inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about buying better quality diamonds, but is there any way to start with a smaller diamond and use it to trade up to a larger diamond later on?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because our founder, H.F. Underwood, popularized growing your diamond here in Jacksonville about 50 years ago, and it's something we still do today. When a customer buys an Underwood engagement ring or solitaire diamond pendant or a pair of ear studs, we guarantee they get the price they paid for it on the purchase of any larger diamond. Now, a lot of stores would say, big deal. We do that too, but here's the Underwood difference. We guarantee you get what you paid when you trade in your Underwood diamond, even if you're trading up by only $1. It's not that you have to trade up 2 for 1 like most jewelers ask. There have been literally thousands of people in the Jacksonville area who have taken advantage of our policy, and Underwood still grows a lot of diamonds for a lot of people.
Underwood's, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
The weather is heating up, and it's time to drop a line in the water. Gear up today at Green Acres Sporting Goods, Jacksonville's fishing headquarters. From Shimano and Penn reels to zoom baits and much more for saltwater and freshwater fishing. They've got everything you need to land the big one. And when your gear needs work, trust their expert rod and reel repair to keep you casting like new. Stop by Green Acres today or shop online at greenacresporting.com.
Hicken here. See clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
Steaks sizzling, drinks flowing, friends gathered together. Your dream backyard starts with CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. You dream it, they build it. Outdoor kitchens, fire pits, fireplaces, and more. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, coming out of rookie minicamp, it's just that's all it takes to get me elevated in my spirit for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tony. Just to see them on the field, we're back here at the Miller Electric Center, and On and on we go. RJ asked me this morning, he goes, we going to be getting into any of these schedule rumors? And I'm like,
who cares?
Man, I don't. The schedule's coming out Thursday night.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen all kinds of rumors. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not. And I don't want to give life to, accounts that are just trying to guess in the dark and hoping that they're right, and then they'll delete the wrong ones, But I've seen the play Houston in
London. Yeah.
In London.
Yeah.
I saw the one November 26th. I'm assuming that's Thanksgiving. They had versus the Cowboys at 12:30. That was a rumor.
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
It'd be cool if they had their first Thanksgiving Day game. I'm not for or against it, right? Like, I'd rather be home for Thanksgiving Day personally, but I wouldn't mind if the Jags
I'd rather
played
have
on
the
it.
3-day weekend.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. Whatever they do, man, we're there regardless, right? So
I'm
who
not
cares
the
what
guy
we feel about it?
who has any issues with the presents sitting under the tree until Christmas morning. Like, I've always been I can wait till Christmas morning to open the present.
Are you
I know
a good
what
guesser
day.
of presents?
I try not to.
Yeah, I do. I'm a total guesser.
Yeah, I try. Like, some of them, like you pick it up, it's like, oh, that's a shirt. right.
I did once the whole Christmas where before I opened it, I announced what it was, every one, and I was like, perfect. And everyone's like, "You're taking the fun out of God." Now this is fun to me.
Fun.
This is my fun.
Yeah,
I
it's your
appreciate it.
Christmas.
Thank you.
You can do it the way you want to do it.
Thank you for the socks.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so
but I can wait till Thursday. The schedule will get released, and we'll see.
Right,
yeah.
and we'll probably have some questions out there Thursday about what you expect to be on the schedule and things like that, and we can get into what all that means. There was some reporting or speculation. I don't even know how to divvy between the two. Like that, the games that the Jags blocked from going to London are Philly and Pittsburgh, which is weird to me because I feel like in a reduced capacity stadium, you're going to sell that thing out no matter who is coming along. Like, I get it. If your capacity is in 65,000 and whatever, and you definitely don't have to worry about a home sellout because you're going to sell out that London game anyway.
Yeah.
But would you rather play the Texans in a 40,000 seat stadium in Jacksonville or in a massive sellout stadium where they probably don't? I don't know how well the Texans fans would travel to London, but I don't know how much.
I know they don't travel here.
This is true, right? I don't know how much that built-in supposed home field advantage actually exists for the Jags over there in London.
I don't think it means much.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're not going to get a whole lot into all the speculation on every rumor that comes down. We are seeing them. Whatever's real, we'll find out in due time.
The end of the week, we'll know.
By the end of the week. All right, so back to Liam Cohen. And on the tight end front, let's wrap up some thoughts there. It made an obvious statement. I mean, the Jags took 2 tight ends. They took one with their first selection. They talked about the run that they anticipated, and it seems like they were right about that. Again, you can decide it still wasn't worth it to take one there, even if you were going to miss out on Borkacher. That's your prerogative. But Liam Cohen did say that tight end was a high priority, obviously, going into this draft.
It was up there. It was definitely up there. We kind of went into it looking back at not necessarily like our class or our group as a whole is why we need more. It's more, we had 2 active for 3-4 games, whatever it was. And that's just not a world I want to live in, and what it limits you. I really appreciate the Chuma and Cole for doing that stuff, but you limit what you can do. And so I was really excited about this draft class of tight ends. I think there was a lot of really good ones, but I think we got 2 really good ones as well.
Yeah, you're not going to fool a whole lot of people if you have Chuma out there. One of those spots as to what the plan is on that play, right?
No.
Right. It's a pretty big tell as to what you're trying
Chuma's
to do.
been working on his foot speed, and, what are you thinking, these short to
you might
intermediate
be able
range?
to trick him on that once in a real, high leverage moment.
Right at the goal line one time.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. But it certainly limits your flexibility in those kind of areas. One more here from Coach talking specifically about the tight ends, the one they took first, Borkacher, saying that he fits right in with the team.
You can tell he's got a common confidence about him, extremely locked in the meeting room setting. I knew some guys at Nebraska, and I've talked to some guys at A&M, and, in the weight room, the way he attacks things, the way that he works, very serious about his craft, very serious about playing football and getting better. So I think he fits right in. And you know, guys like Strange and those guys in that room already that have are workers and wired that way, I think will only help.
Yeah, look, again, football character, right? They stress it. It's important. I mean, talent's important as well, right? And that will be the interesting thing. Let's say the Jags win 12 this year, right? That'd be great. Win 12, maybe win the division, maybe win a playoff game, advance, and that's it for this year. Or maybe even win a couple, get to the AFC Championship game, something along those lines, right? Do they say we're this away? You know, whatever that is, whatever this is, we're one more defensive tackle, one more edge rusher, one more whatever. Do they at any point lessen the standard, right? In terms of, like, not in terms of what the guy can bring on the field, but like this guy at times has been a pain in the butt in an NFL locker room, but we think for a short-term kind of situation with the opportunity, we're going to bring him in. It's going to happen, you would think, at some point in time. Or are there just enough guys that fit the exact mold they're looking for? Time will tell on that one.
No doubt.
So, all right, we'll come back. More from Liam Cohen on other rookies. There are other rookies on the team, as it turns out. Tone. We'll hear about thoughts on Emmanuel Pregnon, Jalen Husky, Jabari Taylor, one of the more well-thought-of undrafted free agent signings by the Jags, and more from the head coach of your Jacksonville Jaguars as we get into the second hour of Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Brunell wants to run at the 20 and leaps a defender. Incredible leap over Mike Magruder, who's left holding his jockey shorts.
Jaguars, pride forever. 1010XL.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday.
On Jaguars Today.
Springtime is the perfect time to get your home organized. Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and storage for any space and budget. Make an appointment to tour their showroom on Phillips Highway and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off free installation and 18 months special financing. Schedule your free consultation at 904-878-9393 or find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at UNF and Bishop Snyder this summer, plus plenty of other sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within
within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
In Jacksonville, we love our sports. You might say we flip out over them. Football, baseball, soccer, hockey, basketball, golf, and there's our outdoor game, fishing, surfing, and just chilling. There's so much to do, it will make your head spin. But keep your cap on because Visit Jacksonville has you covered. Check out visitjacksonville.com/locals or download the Visit Jax app and stay on the ball for all the upcoming sports events in Jax. Go local, go sports. Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Southern Oak Insurance. At rookie minicamp, Liam Cohen highlighted the difference a year makes.
Day one, the difference a year makes, and we should be further along, closer to the way we were playing towards the end of the season than we are, were a year ago.
Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp got the win over Charlotte, powered by a pair of home runs as they split the series at Five Star Ballpark. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 82 degrees at 11:01. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Doom shared with us the Jaguars playing on Thanksgiving would be the worst possible outcome of any schedule reveal. Look, I don't care if they play on Thanksgiving or not, quite frankly. I'm not stumping for it. I don't feel like we're missing out because there is the give and the take, of that whole thing. Nobody says you can't do Thanksgiving on Friday.
Yeah. Like, I'm not for or against it.
No.
Right? Like, it'd be cool if they finally played on Thanksgiving. They're the only team in the National Football League that has never done it. Right? So it would be cool if they got to do that for the first
one.
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Wow.
And it makes sense. I mean, it's only Dallas and Detroit forever.
Right.
Like those were the only two options. Now they have the night game that they've added, what was that, 4 or 5 years ago?
Something like that.
Like that they added for Thanksgiving Day. But, I know someone just, sent us in on the text line as well. Like, could they host one? And it's like, no. Like, Dallas and Detroit host the day games on Thanksgiving, and there's a third game at night.
Yeah, they're not going to put that night game here in this now.
No.
2 years from now.
Maybe.
Stadium of the future.
With the stadium doing whatever it's doing.
Opens up, and they want to highlight that. That's possible.
By the way, some breaking Jaguars news.
Do tell.
The Jaguars have signed veteran running back Amir Abdullah. Yeah.
Huh.
Not sure exactly what that is, but yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah. They signed Amir Abdullah. They re-signed Sal Wormley. And they placed Jordan White on the reserve/retired list and waived running back LaQuindon Jackson.
Oh, Jaquindon from last year.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So he takes, I guess, Jaquindon
Jackson's roster spot. Yeah.
Amir, if you're going to say Amir Abdullah without looking at his stats, what does Amir Abdullah bring to the football team?
I don't know.
I think he's like a quicker pass-catching type.
That type of guy, yeah.
Right, that type, right?
Seems to be that type of guy, yeah.
I mean, just be like off-season depth, roster, insurance. Like, if you look at Jaquindon Jackson and say, how's he going to make this football team, right? We just got Jamari Taylor, who we might already like more than him, potentially. He couldn't break in last year. Now, granted, Travis Etienne, ETN was here, but you signed Chris Rodriguez with the intent of him having a significant role. Bajal Tutin and... give me LaQuint Allen. Sorry. That's like Jaquindon LaQuint. I just had to settle my mind for a second. So anyway.
Shaq would be jealous.
I mean,
using all the cues. Yeah.
How likely is it that Amir Abdullah
Yeah, I
makes
don't know.
his football team?
And he's going to be 33 in June.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's one that makes me go, huh.
Last season, 14 carries for 60 yards, averaged about 4.3 with a touchdown. 16 receptions for 99 yards, averaging about 6.2.
Yeah, that's what I think he is. He's like kind of an emergency third down.
Yeah, where was he last year?
Option. I know he's been with the Raiders fairly recently.
So here it seems like, well, I don't even want to speak and say he was with Indianapolis last year.
Well, are you on his stats page?
I'm on ESPN. ESPN is.
Oh, I got it pulled up now. Yeah, he was with Indy last year.
Okay. Yeah, and with the Raiders the 3 years prior. So yeah. I mean, fine, whatever, man. I'm not.
It's
honestly, Sal Wormley was gone. Now he's back. Okay, I mean, they probably think that Sal can play, and they needed the roster space, and and now they made a few moves. All right, whatever. That doesn't move the needle for me.
No,
not that. Honestly, unless you were signing at a position of greater need, I don't think they have a big need at running back.
No.
Right? So the path to Amir Abdullah being relevant for this football team,
right,
once the regular season rolls around, is extremely narrow.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that's any different, and probably a little bit less than a guy like DJ Dallas. Like, as far as like a roster impact, it's the same kind of thing.
And that's fine. By the way, you're allowed to have the depth in the offseason. They have 90 roster spots. I'm not saying bad move. I'm just saying, all right.
One running back, they're saying bye. They're putting another guy in there. Okay.
Be very surprised, though. But they obviously, when you look at that, when you factor in the age, right? Jackson's young. If they thought he had anything, you keep the young guy, at least a chance to break through. And so maybe they're looking at it and say, well, who is our best pass catching option? Clearly. And maybe they don't, like, Rodriguez never been a high volume receiver, right? Bajal didn't have a lot of receptions last year. I'm not saying they can't do it.
Yeah.
But give us a guy that if it came to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
how much more do they want to use LeQuint as a pass catcher this year?
I think a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot.
Yep.
Right now,
because he's already on the field for third down anyway.
And if that's a big factor in your offense, does it behoove you to have some veteran depth there? Maybe so.
Maybe.
We'll see. It's a long way to September, right? So we're going to see a lot of these kind of moves.
Does it change your perception at all? I remember we were talking about it at rookie minicamp that, be hard pressed to think that they would have 4 running backs on the active roster.
I still think that's accurate. Yes. Okay. For me, doesn't change. I mean, Jamari Taylor's much more interesting, or Jabari Taylor, excuse me, much more interesting in terms of a guy you take a look at and
you're not going to burn a roster spot for Amir Abdullah on game day necessarily.
You wouldn't think, unless you had some injury issues along the way. So, all right, let's get off that. Just curious, but no big deal. Like Sal Wormley's gone. Oh no, he's back. It's the same. Like the Wormley family's probably very happy, but good luck breaking through and being more than a practice squad guy at this stage.
Absolutely,
So, anyway, all right, let's get back to Liam Cohen. Spoke a lot in the first hour about the tight end position. Let's get to Manuel Pregnon. Says that Pregnon just simply has traits that he brings that you cannot teach.
Large man. You just, some of that you can't coach, right? And when you have big, strong hands and heavy hands as an interior offensive lineman, I think is super helpful to the cause, especially in pass protection, to be able to snap things off. And then when you are put in some one-on-one positions up front, being able to not just get stalemates, but potentially move that person the other direction. So it's hard to tell, obviously. Physically, you would think he can do it. And based on the film, playing at a high level in college, he did display those things. So very difficult to get a true evaluation, as I said last year around this time about the offensive line. But care factor, intentionality, communication, learning, that's what this is all about.
And we know, look, Pregnon is a guy who it feels like they got a value, right, compared to where people talked about him in the draft. So they get him where they get him, and now he's being brought into the building. And so they have the opportunity to put him on the field and learn a little bit about him, and him to learn a little bit about what they want to do here in the rookie minicamp. He was asked about that this weekend as well.
just trying to get to know him personally a little bit, what makes him tick, the learning curve, how he learns best, whether it's in the meeting room setting or you go into the walkthrough. Okay, how does that change or adapt in his learning process? And ultimately, then when you get on the grass, how he handles and takes coaching. So been impressed with him in a small sample size in terms of care factor and asking and communicating things on the grass and in the huddle. Just been impressed by that so far.
I do feel like, as much as anybody in this draft, they looked up at a certain point and are like, all right, like this is, do we need this? Or is this absolutely what we are targeting? No, not necessarily. And I think when they talk about, they got like 9 out of their 10 targets, Tony, I think this is probably the one, in my estimate, in my guess, that they didn't expect to be sitting there. And again, at 81, man, he was there, and you're already going, really? Wow. That seems like a screaming value. No, we're taking Regis. I think that shows you how much they like Albert Regis, and they were more concerned with missing out on him than the other way. So we'll get to thoughts on Jalen Husky, Jamari Taylor, and more from Liam Cohen coming up. So stick around with us as we continue to pick our way through rookie minicamp on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods. My friends, the Thompson family, are a great family that supports the local sports scene all the time. Huge fans of everything going on down at Everbank, but certainly they're huge fans of the Duval community because they have had this great symbiotic relationship, and they produce great food, and you guys consume it, and it keeps going on, and they keep getting better and better with more varied recipes, more different options, always fresh, and they've been able to keep the prices absolutely reasonable. Go compare them through to the drive-thru, and you're going to love what Dandy has to offer. When you swing into an area, Circle K, head right to the fresh case, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or anything in between, protein packs, salads, veggie trays, fruit cups, and, of course, the classic line of sandwiches and subs. It's all there from Dandy. It's the name to know in Duval. So when you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Don't answer that.
Yeah. What's your name? This is 1010XL. What are you? Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Ackerman Cancer Center is the community leader in cancer treatment, offering advanced proton therapy treatment for cancers near vital organs or complex, hard-to-reach areas. Take charge of your well-being with AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned and operated business on the First Coast for nearly 20 years. Known for reliability, quality craftsmanship, and professional service, Armstrong Fence handles it all, from big projects like stadiums and schools to your very own backyard. They build a wicked strong fence, and they do it right the first time. When you need a fence in Jacksonville, trust Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Attention skilled electricians, are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Test your instincts. Take your shot at the PGA Championship with 1010XL's You Pick'em contest. You could win $1,000 of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds. Set up by Endless Summer Roofing. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Pick it here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools, summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
Memorial Day, friends, family, great food is what we look forward to all year. But when your septic system decides it wants to be part of the conversation, yeah, nobody wants that. Getting a pump out now is a smart move before things get, let's just say, uncomfortable. Duck Rooter, Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor. They've seen it all, and they get it right the first time. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping. Keep the memories, not the mess. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Hey guys, Coach Campo here. We just left Tony D's Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295. My wife is still raving about the eggplant parmesan. At Tony D's, it's more than just pizza. I'll see you there.
Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
It's showtime! That's right! The whole world loves Beetlejuice! It's a rowdy, rambunctious, rollicking good time! And a big, fantastical funhouse! We're raising the bar and occasionally the dead! You've never seen anything quite like Beetlejuice! May 12th through the 17th, Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets on sale at fscjartistseries.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, let's go more from Liam Cohen. We got to get through this stuff as he spoke after minicamp practice on Saturday, primarily on this rookie class as well. And by the way, keep in mind, we've talked about Borkature and Pregnon a decent amount this morning. They are the two we're excluding because they're the ones that have had the most discussion around them. Which Jaguar draft pick is flying a little bit under the radar for you? Who's the guy that we should be talking about more other than those two? Specifically, one of those might be Jalen Husky. I've seen him mentioned a few times by the listening audience. Tony, here was Liam Cohen on Saturday. His thoughts on the player the Jags took at pick 100.
Yeah, I think you look at, obviously, some of the trends in the NFL and some of those heavier groupings and what you have to combat that with is making decisions whether you're going to go heavier at linebacker and go bigger people, or are you investing a little bit more in some of the bigger skill players on defense, that big skill that can play maybe at the safety position, drop down to the big nickel, play some dime will. I think that's something that's important to us. It's been important to us really before all these trends kind of started, was that multiplicity and ability to play different positions. And it also helps you on special teams when you have big, longer athletes at DB that can match up with whether it be tight ends, linebacker type bodies on special teams is really important.
Liam, how about check? I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just, the NFL is such an interesting cat and mouse game, right? Where right now it is obviously in vogue for people to go to these 2-3 tight end sets, get bigger. And so the response on the defensive side is, well, we need more bigger bodies on the field. So we're going to more 3 safety looks, that kind of thing.
And we'll get some water bug receivers out there to counter that.
Right. And so the adjustment's going to come from the National Football League. Someone's going to make that adjustment, which is why, when the Jaguars handled the draft the way they did, I can understand why they did it. I was like, well, how long is this trend going to go? Right? Where teams are going big as opposed to trying to get small and fast to counteract these kind of, I do not know what the answer to that is, but generally in NFL terms, these kind of trends don't go forever. They go for a couple of years.
A few years.
Yeah, like it's trying to give yourself a short-term advantage, and I can understand the Jaguars looking at what they did last year and saying, here's the window. We need to be competitive in this window. We're not worried about the next window yet.
Well, and two, you look at the selection of another safety for this team, which you and I didn't have top on our priority list, right? I'm always looking for corners because the value of corners in the NFL is very high. But I think they're saying, well, we think that value of the versatile safety who can play in the box, can cover tight ends is high as well. And if you just look at how many more years are you going to get out of Eric Murray? Maybe one?
Maybe one.
Maybe two. Maybe, right? But all right, so let's say it's one. Antonio Johnson played very well in the second half of the year last year. He's under contract for one more year. Right? Caleb Bransall. I don't know. They know better than we do, right? So Ray Lane, great special teamer. Don't know if he'll ever be a really good NFL safety. He could probably drop in from time to time. So they're looking at that depth chart and they're comparing it to, now we're adding Travis Hunter as probably, full-time corner. Not that he won't play offense.
Right. And the reality is last year, Andrew Winger played 90% of their defensive snaps.
And they lost that.
Right. He's gone.
So you got Travis, you invested in Monteric. Still got Jarian, still got Jordan Lewis. So from there, it's reasonable from their standpoint to feel like we're just better there. Even though corner may have a higher value across the league, you reach a certain point, you're like, I don't know. Is this guy going to crack our lineup? I suppose. I'm just trying to think through the thought process.
Sure,
here.
no problem. And along those kind of lines, we were just talking about the Amir Abdullah pickup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which got announced here in the last 15 minutes or so that the Jags are signing him at the running back position. Well, the only other body they added, through the draft or the non-draft process was Jamari Taylor at the running back spot. And Coach was asked over the weekend about Taylor's production coming in as a college player into the Jaguars locker room.
Yeah, I think the word you said, production, when you looked at him against some of the, I guess you call it top backs in the draft, production against the same teams and what that looked like, I thought was pretty impressive. Obviously, the season that Virginia had, a lot of it had to do with his success and his ability to both affect the game in the run and the pass game as well. So people just bounce off of him in ways. I mean, he forced a lot of missed tackles, and he's super sharp.
I think the Jags tried to read the room a little bit here. I think they liked Taylor enough to probably draft him. But overall, this was seen as a draft class that was not that spectacular at the running back position, right? You had the 2 first-round guys, and Kalen Black went at pick 90 was the next guy to go, and you had some other ones smattering here and there that, but even, like the Mike Washingtons and Jonah Colemans and guys like that probably didn't go as high as a lot of pundits thought they were going to go. So guy like Taylor maybe sitting there, you're like, I don't know, is he going to slide? Right. You gotta balance that. Who's going to make it through? Who's not? So we shall see. Liam Cohen, just in general, seeing these guys out on the field, talking about the beauty of competition in this setting.
Yeah, hard for me to really give any value on these guys. All I know is about BJ and Danny. I mean, BJ was here yesterday, working out in there, probably sizing. Hey, man, I ain't taking my job. And I told these guys last week in the meetings. I said, if y'all are looking around worrying about a rookie taking your job, like you're probably in the wrong room. And that's specific to those two because they were undrafted. Worked their asses off to earn every snap that they got. Played veterans a little bit less to get them an opportunity based on special teams. And so I think there's probably some similarities in these 4 guys that you just mentioned. Hard for me to differentiate at the moment. I think there is similarities in how they're wired. Like that, underdog, man, I'm going to prove what I got, how I can play, how I can earn these opportunities. We'll see. That's the beauty of competition.
We'll see how they handle it, right? It is interesting that he would mention BJ and Danny.
Right. Right. That's not BTJ.
Yeah.
That's you're
Green,
talking about your edge rushers right here.
Second-year guys that were undrafted last year that obviously had to fight to even make the team.
Look, man, isn't it safe to always assume somebody's coming for your job, right? Like
you come in that way, I imagine that's one that you carry on your back forever. Right?
Probably so.
Until you get done with until the league is done with you, you're treating every day like I got to show them today.
But look, you go back to, and I'm not saying that this is apples to apples at all, but Byron Leftwich probably didn't think he was necessarily competing for his job.
No,
right up until the moment he got cut by the Jaguars, right? And sometimes you don't see it coming. Is my point. And I get it. Dave Gore was already on that roster. It wasn't like they went out and added him and any of that. But it behooves you as a veteran player to just assume that, you're a day away from getting cut.
Yeah. And I think the all-time great ones, I think they do carry it that way. Like, they always kind of walk into the door with, I know they're trying to take my job.
I'm going to show you today why you're not even in my class.
I'm going to put you in your place today.
Yes.
Right? Like that kind of thing, that kind of attitude, it pays big dividends long term. And along those kind of lines, Coach Coen was also asked about the veterans that'll be coming into the building. Obviously, they're not around for the rookie weekend necessarily, but the veterans that'll be coming around the building, and he expects when everyone's back that the vets are going to be the guys that are going to set the standard for everybody in that room for the players.
Yeah, we were all starting off so fresh at that time. And you look at, that was exactly what I mentioned to the vets on Thursday with them was, man, when these guys get in here on Monday and get integrated with you all, I need you all to set the standards and show these guys what our standards are of how to operate in the meeting room settings and walkthroughs and practice, because we need them. We need them to come along as fast as possible. You saw it last year with the amount of rookies that played for us and made an impact and contribution. So, yeah, they're competing with each other for spots, but, man, we need every single guy.
All right, one more here, and then we'll come back. And Coen had a thought on the schedule release coming up later this week, and we'll hear that as the hour plays out. But this one, Tony, again, hearing a lot about versatility and what they want to do, and they want to, we want to be multiple and all that, right? Some of the buzzwords of the NFL. You heard that a lot when it came to 3-4 versus 4-3. What are we going to? Well, we're going to be multiple. Sometimes we'll be this, sometimes we'll be that. Well, there's generally a base that you build off of, and that goes for both sides of the ball. So Liam Cohen asked towards the end, kind of wrapping up the presser after the rookie minicamp, what he would like this team to be able to do outside of just some of the base formation looks.
The interesting thing about the tight end position or getting bigger is if you can get a bigger grouping on defense, but your tight ends have the ability to spread out and do different things in the pass game, well, you can present 13 personnel pictures or even like 12. I like 12 a lot personally, but you can also present 11 personnel pictures, 10 personnel pictures spread open, empty formations. And so now you're just challenging the defense in base defense to have a lot more calls, right? You have to have a lot more checks, a lot more adjustments. And look, I believe that there is going to be an uptick probably in the NFL next year in heavier personnel groupings. I'm not sure we're going to over-rotate to a point where we want to get slower or less explosive. We still have some pretty damn good wideouts that I like to use. And so I just think it'll be interesting to see the trends.
Well, right. Liam Cohen's like, hey, we want to run the ball 75% of the time. Come on. I got some toys to play with. And it goes back to that comment we heard last week from Kyle Van Noy of when they played the Bucs a couple of years ago, when he played the Bucs, like they're coming out there giving us looks like, what the hell is going on, man? Like it took them the entire first script, the 15 plays or so to catch their breath on the kind of different variety that Liam Cohen was showing as the offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So again, show them 12 personnel, okay? And then you split one of those tight ends out, or you split them both out. Now, wait a minute. I thought we were loading up with our heavy package on defense.
Right.
Now these guys can run by us, and it's that constant chess game. We just feel like we've got a rising grandmaster here in Jacksonville that can actually play at that level now, and to have the pieces available to him to put them in those kind of positions.
No doubt.
All right, we'll come back and final thought or two from Liam Cohen, and we'll get into this question that we posed to all of you today as well, taking those two rookies, Borkacher and Pregnon, out of the conversation. Which under the radar 2026 Jaguars draft pick should we be talking about more? We'll run through the candidates on the other side here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Perfect passes.
Great pass.
Thrilling moments.
Did that just happen?
Winning plays.
Touchdown!
Your radio home for play-by-play. 1010XL.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Dream Finders Homes Monday on Jaguars Today.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $5,000 per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey, Hickett here. Spring and summer air should feel fresh, not full of dust, allergens, and whatever winter left behind in your vents. Your air ducts, they're the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, you're breathing it every day. That's where Zero Res comes in, backed by more than thousands of Google reviews and a 4.9 rating. This month only, take 25% off all services, including your air ducts. That's cleaner air, better efficiency, and a fresher home guaranteed. Call 904-287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and mention the 1010XL special.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Renovations are underway at the golf club at Southampton, but that doesn't mean you still can't come out and hone your game. The practice facility is open Tuesday through Sunday with a great membership offer to work on your game year-round. Log on to golfsouthampton.com or check out their Facebook page. Work on your tee game, iron play, shots around the green, and of course your putting. It's all there and a great way to stay fresh until they unveil fresh new greens in October. Check it all out at the golf club at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY.
Has any Major League Baseball player ever hit 2 grand slams in the same inning?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Fernando Tatis of the Cardinals hit 2 grand slams in the same inning in 1999. Both came off the same pitcher, Chan Ho Park of the Dodgers.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hi, Frank Frangie here, inviting you to join my wife and me June 22nd of 2027 as we experience the food, wine, and culture of iconic Italy with Colette. Our journey takes us to historic cities and enchanting medieval towns. We'll enjoy a wonderful 7-night stay in the Montecatini Term A famous resort and spa town nestled in the heart of the rolling hills of Tuscany. Visit the cultural treasures of Florence, Pisa, and lovely Lucca. Along the way, we'll discover the food, wine, and old world charm, and even have a special chef-led cooking class. This and so much more. Colette handles the details, flights, hotels, meals, and the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining my wife and me in Italy. Now, to learn more, visit 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Come away with me.
That's 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Time for the golden moment here. RJ, what's the story? Are we doing the golden moment? Well, you fire it up. All right, plenty of time. We're sitting here for the last few minutes like, what's today's golden moment? Oh, I know what it's going to be. Fire it up, RJ.
Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Oh,
you need a camera in that room.
We've all been
RJ.
Producers, man. It's that moment where you're like, what?
Yelling at the computer screen
right now. All right, Monahan's golden moment. Jags are back on the field, man.
Yeah,
that's what the golden moment is. I mean, yes, members of the organization are well aware that R.J. Saunders does a phenomenal NBA show on Saturdays. I got to listen to it again this week. Open gym from 11 to noon. That is golden for RJ. I just think seeing guys run around in the Jaguar uniform, Tony, that, eventually some of them will actually be playing on Sundays in the fall. What more could you ask for in May?
Yeah, look, it's the NFL calendar never stops turning, right? There's really only that 3 or 4 weeks off in the entire year. And now we know the schedule release is coming up this week. So from a fan perspective, that's the big event. Obviously, the team's going to be on and off the field for the next 5-6 weeks. And then they get that little bit of time off, and then we'll be in camp before we even know it, right? Like, it's not that far away. And I do think every year the calendar feels smaller when the team is any good. Right. When we actually have good things to react to with the football team, we don't even feel the offseason going. It's just like it's there.
You're right, because we know good things are coming.
Right. Like, it's just on top of you before you even know it. And I'm been in full Jaguars good team offseason mode for the last several months.
When you come off a 4-win season, you're like, oh, come on, man. When can we get to something that can that wash that taste out of our mouth?
We've spent the last 2 months of the regular season talking about the draft.
Right. We're beat down by that point. Enough already. So, all right. Let's get to today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day.
Yeah.
All right. Outside of Borkature and Pregnon, who've received most of the lip service from the talking heads, us included.
Yes.
Who is the other drafted rookies? You have 8 names: Albert Regis, Jalen Husky, Wesley Williams, Tanner Koziel, Josh Cameron, C.J. Williams, Zach Durfee, and Parker Hughes. Tony, which one of these guys is flying under the radar, but we should be talking about him more?
We were talking about the grades that we gave draft picks last week, right? That when they got announced. By the way, I should correct something. Lauren's listening to the show. It was not her who gave the D. It was Taylor.
Oh,
she was? She said, I gave the C. Taylor gave the D.
I could have sworn, man. Then my eyes are bad because on that graphic, I'm squinting. I'm like, that's Lauren, right?
And if Lauren is correct about that, then I apologize for having gotten it wrong. If she's wrong about the correction, then I apologize, Taylor, for having gotten it wrong. Somebody gave him a D alongside me.
Yes.
That much I know for a fact. I gave 2 A's, right, on that list going through all the draft picks that the Jaguars made. One of them was Pregnon, and we're not talking about him today in the question of the day, and the other was Zach Durfee. And I do think it's at the right time for the right kind of prospect at a position where he actually can potentially make a difference for the football team. I don't know what Durfee's going to turn into if he can stay healthy enough to make an impact for the Jaguars at any point. That's been the thing that's kept him away for making a bigger impact all through his college career. But at the time where they drafted him at a position that I think is one of the most glaring, they need to upgrade this portion of the depth chart, I think he gives the opportunity for the team to have found, like every now and then it just falls into your hands the right way. And it does feel like Durfee could at least potentially be that type of player for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right. For me, it comes down to a pair of guys here.
Sure.
And one of them is Regis. Because, I think all these guys will look at and say, well, not many likely to crack the starting lineup, right? And I don't think he will this year. I don't think he'll overtake Devon Hamilton. But, again, it's just the more I think about it, the more I'm struck. Man, this is a guy that I don't think was on many people's radar, but at least in that range. And they felt the greater risk was to let him go by at pick 81 than to let Emmanuel Pregnon, who was universally graded high. I say universally among the pundits. Pundits may not know what they're talking about, whatever. So I think Regis is one simply because he gets washed away by the Pregnon talk in many cases, right? And you're like, all right, let's see. And this wasn't a guy that, he's not Dominic Orange. He's not Darrell Jackson. He's not some of these other defensive tackles we talked about, which may not have been anywhere close to him on the Jags board. Right. So Regis is one. And then I'd go down, and probably my final answer on this is Wesley Williams. Okay. And the pick was not lauded by anybody, but this is an area, with apologies to BJ and Danny, right, where the Jags need some quality depth, and a depth at that spot is a guy who could play half your snaps, potentially, certainly in key pass rush situations. And don't forget the Jags traded up to get him, right? That wasn't a common occurrence here. So they identify something in Wesley Williams that they think he's going to come in, obviously, and compete for the third spot as an edge rusher. Why you wouldn't draft him if you didn't think he could do that. But I think it's just been like, people are like, I don't see the huge production in college. The Jags saw something in him, 6'4", 256. He fits that profile of the guy that you don't necessarily want to line up on every down on the end to try to set the edge in the run game, but for his specific skill set. And if you get a fully healthy Trayvon and you get Josh Hines Allen closer to what he was a couple of years ago as opposed to last year in terms of just his success rate, as you pointed out many times, on his pressures, just coming up to the NFL average, right? Then all of a sudden, Wesley Williams comes on the field. Nobody's thinking about him, man. Can the Jags pair defensive ends and maybe somewhat their defensive tackles create some one-on-one or even clean rush opportunities for Wesley Williams? He's an intriguing guy to me. And again, this is not to say he'll be the best of this draft class. I just don't think he has been given his due based on what the Jaguars' needs were going into the draft. What people still feel, if you say today, what is their biggest need? Need more pass rush. Well, they did trade up for a guy. And there were plenty of guys on the board that we looked at and said, well, that would work here. That would work here. That would at that position and others. And this is the one that decided to make a move for. So that for me are some of the reasons. Those for me are some of the reasons why Wesley Williams fits that.
Makes sense. Like it's a lot of the same kind of reasons as the Durfee thing for me, but Williams is the one that they took earlier, right? So they obviously made a bigger priority of getting Williams. As you mentioned, they traded to go get him, right? So they have an idea in mind. And I think when we talk about the two guys that even Coach was willing to call out, earlier in the program this morning in Green and Strigo. And Strigo is a guy who was a better run defender, and Green was the better pass rush productive player, right? And then there's a reason why Danny got more snaps last year than BJ is because with the injury to Trayvon, they needed the run defender more, right? So Danny got to play a little bit more. So he's the guy who kind of fits more in that style of player box. BJ into the we need some pass rush right now kind of player box. I think Wesley may be a balance of those two things for him, and that's why they were willing to do it when they were willing to do it in the draft. It'll be interesting to see how they want to fit all these pieces into place because they do have some options behind the top two guys as to how they're going to fill out this depth chart.
Some of the responses we got today, and a wide variety of these guys. You had 8 options to choose from, so it wasn't a poll form. Scott said, I'll go Albert Regis for his run stuffing. Hopefully he shows pass rushing ability as well. The big thing you hear about him is he's got movement skills, right? And it's not necessarily up the field. He's going to have 8 sacks, but he can, the play goes off tackle, he can still be a factor because he can go to some degree sideline to sideline. We'll see how much he can do that. But again, second pick that they made and had the opportunity, had some eye-opening guys fall, and that was the guy that they focused on. Let's see. O'Greasy said, I like Durfee two-tone, so he agrees with you. Jamal St. Cyr weighed in today, said C.J. Williams. I hear a lot of buzz about C.J. Williams. Just not buzz like, wow, watch the numbers he's got to put up, but, man, they really think they got a steal in C.J. Williams. And, again, I looked at one CBS draft tracker when the C.J. Williams pick was made. The Jags are the leader in the clubhouse in regards to making the biggest wild card selections. And what they're telling you is like, why are you taking this guy here? It's pick 203. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah. So C.J. Williams, interesting, from Jamal St. Cyr. Appreciate him weighing in. Let's see. Grim Jag goes with Regis. Ed goes with Wesley Williams. Will we finally have a third edge with some twitch? Let's see. Jason said Tanner has the size to be special. Dude will be twitchy too. Yeah, I mean, he does have the size. They're talking about Coziel. Let's see. It's Ian said, it's tough. I see a role for everyone. Okay. Cal Jag, got to be Husky. Guy seems like a dog. Johnny said easy, Husky. Many people picked Husky. A lot of people picked Coziel here. They're more Wesley Williams. So a pretty decent mix here. Another one Professor Floyd going with Durfee as well. All right. Before we hit the break, why don't we go around the league real quick, and we'll come back with some final thoughts on Jaguars today. Tony Smith.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Just a couple of things of note here. After we got done with the show on Friday, the New York Jets got an extension done with running back Bryce Hall heading into the weekend. The deal is 3 years, $43.5 million. Denver head coach Sean Payton said on Saturday that quarterback Bo Nix is on track to be a limited participant during the team's offseason, should be full speed for the start of training camp there for the Broncos. Nix suffered a fractured right ankle in the final moments of the Broncos' divisional round playoff win.
All right, there you go. Couple final thoughts here from Liam Cohen on the anticipated schedule release coming up later this week, and we'll tie a bow on today's edition of Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Only at Firehouse Subs.
Jaguars Today.
You're settled into a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Frank Ranger here with Coach Delaney from Coil Fencing. You've been building winning teams at Fletcher for years. How does that correlate with installing fences here in Northeast Florida?
Well, Frank, at Coil Fencing, we like to take the coach approach. Implement a game plan and execute it on the field. That's been our winning recipe for 99 years.
And you tackle more than fences, right?
Absolutely. We also service and install automatic gates, perfect for multifamily communities, your business, or residents.
The best defense is a good offense. Visit CoilJax.com. That's COYLE Jax.com.
Hacker here. How many of you remember hearing about 40 by the 4th last year? Thought about making the call to Awaken 180 and then didn't? Then Independence Day rolled around, you hadn't lost a pound, kicking yourself for not pulling the trigger when you heard the ad. I've been there on plenty of other stuff in life, so no judgment. But here's the difference this year. Awaken 180 just launched Reclaim, a 10-week plan with a real start, a real finish line, and one clear goal. 40 pounds by the 4th. Not eventually, 10 weeks mapped out, and then free support for life. You all know my results with Awaken 180. You can have the same. Celebrate Independence Day 40 pounds lighter, cold beer, and a burger in hand, thanking yourself that you made the call to Awaken 180. And you won't be the only one. Hayes has a buddy jumping on board, and our sales guy Greg just told me he is making this his year. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
In a sea of big box corporate chain jewelry stores here, Beard's Diamonds is a refreshing alternative.
I grew up in Jacksonville, and we have been shopping at Beard's for over 2 decades.
Meet Richard Skinner. Richard's journey with Beard's started when nobody could even come close on the engagement ring he wanted.
We did shop around that stone and that particular setup with different jewelers, and Beard's was able to come in significantly lower. It was a no-brainer.
Since then, he's become another voice in the word-of-mouth advertising advertising that has made Beards stronger than ever.
I have referred my friends and sisters and brothers, and they have all had a very, very pleasurable experience at Beards. The selection is great. The staff is awesome. It's a well-run business that really does care about their clients and their customers.
And unlike the others at Town Center, Beards is a locally owned family jeweler.
The fact that they're locally owned, it does give you a little bit more personal experience. They actually have a desire to better the city of Jacksonville.
Beards Diamonds. Online at beardsdiamonds.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, the fellas are coming up from ACC spring meetings up in Amelia Island. We'll talk to Joe C. here in a moment, Tony. Before we do, we got one more piece of audio, as it's sometimes referred to in the biz. So Liam Cohen on the upcoming schedule release. What are his thoughts?
Yeah, relatively quickly. That it just gives you something a little bit competitive to build on and start to just get your mind going towards your focus as soon as the season hits. It's so internal, right? You're just everything self-scout, worrying about ourselves. And I want to keep that focus the same, but I think it just gives you a little bit of excitement, something to start diving into that we can start to almost incorporate in our off-season program is, all right, let's throw some stuff that we know we're going to install, right? And things that we know we're going to run that may be something that pops up on tape that we would envision knowing that we're going to run in week one. Well, let's start to sprinkle that in throughout the off season and see what that looks like. Maybe even throw it up against some of the looks that we could present. Well, I mean, week one, I'd say probably towards the end of minicamp, we will do blitz, like BPU, just the offense, against all of our week one opponent pressures. Like, we won't tell them probably in that moment that these are opponent X's third down pressures, but we will card them, we will script them, we will rep them out here without them knowing.
That's interesting, right? Like, yeah, that's more where the focus is. We got to get off to a hot start. What's the point in worrying about week 5? So many things can change.
Yeah.
There. I did find it amusing. I think Liam Cohen is a pretty thoughtful answer guy, right? You don't get many 8-second sound bites out of him. It's like,
right.
He speaks on it. He goes, all right, just really quickly. And they gave the longest answer to any question that he was asked on Saturday. So
yeah.
I found that amusing.
It is amusing, and it is interesting always when the coach and the GM for the Jacksonville Jaguars talks to the media now. It always feels like you learn something, right? And he could have answered that question with saying, yeah, we're excited about the schedule.
Yeah,
it's
no
cool.
big deal or whatever.
Like that kind of thing. But instead you get the, look, we take a look at who we're playing week 1. We're trying to get ready for that game. And when we install, we're not even going to tell the guys that's what we're installing.
Right.
Right. Like,
here's some blitzes, guys, just random blitzes.
Right. Like, it is interesting that they do that kind of thing talking to the media all the time. And it is a breath of fresh air compared to, what we most recently had here with the you wouldn't understand it even if I told you.
You wouldn't get it. It's way above your head.
I understand exactly what
Blocking
Coach Coen just said.
is way above your head.
Right.
But hey.
You think we couldn't understand they're trying to get ready for week 1? That was complicated.
It really wasn't, right? It really wasn't at all, and I know that's your point in this whole thing. So anyway, happy to have the Jags back on the field.
No doubt.
Be on the lookout sometime this afternoon. We'll throw a Tuesday top 5 at you so you can start to get the gears grinding in your head. Schedule release now slated for Thursday night. So, again, probably ignore most of the rumors that we hear on that front until they get a little bit more solidified. Can rumors be solidified? I don't know. That's a question for
when they just become true.
Well, I guess that's a question for XL Primetime. So why don't we welcome in Joe C.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Joe, you look fantastic. You're backlit there with Matt Hayes out in Amelia Island for the ACC spring meetings. What's going on out there, brother?
Well, right now everybody's checking in. You got the long line, and that was the only time I thought I might catch Mike Norvell and get a couple of minutes with him since he was pinned in that line, but I was walled off. So we got guys that are checking in right now, and it's not just the football coaches, Mike. It's the basketball coaches. You got some dignitaries, ADs, and so on that will roll up here to the Ritz-Carlton today and tomorrow. We know we have Mario Cristobal in the 1 o'clock hour. That's what we expect, and then a handful of others that we will talk to. But the chatter around the college football and basketball world has been increasing size.
Well,
increasing size, yes. From 68, 8 more teams there, and then now the college football playoff thinking about doubling up.
Right, more opportunities. I don't love it.
How long before they get 68 in the college football playoff, Joe?
Probably around the corner.
I cannot see that happening. Man, the perfection of the NCAA tournament, the basketball tournament, comes down to the fact that everything fits perfectly symmetrically on one sheet of paper. And I'm not kidding you. You know, once you start branching out to 76 or 78 or whatever they're going to do, it's like all that stuff is playing games to me. None of that matters until you get down to the field of 64. We'll see. That's their prerogative, Joey, and we'll be listening, man. And by the way, Mike Norvell should be begging to be on 1010XL today.
True.
He should be begging to put out any kind of message and any kind of spin on anything going on in Tallahassee in a positive way. So if you don't get him, that's on him, brother.
Yeah, we will see how it goes, that's for sure. But he knows that the clock is on him. He also knows he's got a big buyout. So if they run his behind out of Tallahassee, he'll be okay.
Oh, wouldn't it be nice to have that golden parachute? All right, Joe, have a great show, man. We'll be listening. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Out in Amelia Island for ACC spring meetings. Josie and the XL Primetime crew. All right, that was a fun one today. I always like starting off the week in good fashion, and Jags Minicamp gave us a reason to do that. So, again, be on the lookout on the socials this afternoon for our Tuesday top 5, and we'll run through another week of Jaguar coverage. Be that much closer to the Jags hoisting a Lombardi trophy whenever it comes, Tony. I'm not guaranteeing it this year or next year or anytime.
It'll be one day closer to whenever it is. Yep.
If it ever comes. That'll do it for us. For Tony Smith and RJ Saunders, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.